If you are sitting in the middle of Siberia right now and you've mastered the Bitcoin protocol, you can spin up a Bitcoin miner and generate hard currency, monetize your energy, and you can do it without prejudice or bias on the same terms and conditions as someone with a trust fund on the Upper East Side.
Hey guys, welcome back to Library of Wealth. Today we have Michael Saylor on the future of Bitcoin and the issues in the crypto industry today. He talks about the crash with Bitcoin and in the crypto market. Today it's trading at less than half the all-time high, and with great uncertainties that remain in financial markets, as demonstrated by price actions across equities, it will be interesting to see how Bitcoin bounces back. Proponents of Bitcoin have endorsed the digital currency as an inflation hedge, in part because there is a finite amount of it, but Bitcoin has tumbled hard along with stocks. Saylor remains bullish despite market conditions, only this time it's combined with record highs in inflation and the market as a whole. Let's get right into the interview with Michael Saylor, who will give us his take on the current state of the Bitcoin market. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content we do here on this channel. Let's get right into the video.
So John Galt says withdraw your productivity, withdraw your talent from the economy because it is corrupt. And Satoshi said withdraw your wealth from an economy that is corrupt. In essence, Satoshi is saying that to the extent that you could build a multi-billion-dollar company, you could generate hundreds of millions or billions of dollars of profits, but if someone is elected that then triples the money supply, they steal 2/3 of all your labor for the last 30 years, and they do it in about a week. And so if someone can, in essence, steal everything you've done and everything you're ever going to do with the click of a button, then you can't win by playing that game. And so John Galt kind of said, well, we know we can't win no matter how hard we try, so we should just withdraw and go and strike. And Satoshi took a different point of view, which is, yeah, we know we can't win as long as we hold the currency of a corrupt government. So the only way to win is to create an immortal, incorruptible currency. And of course, the only way to make an incorruptible or immortal currency is to get the people out of the way. And so in essence, you end up with millions and millions of disinterested computers that can't do anything but process the protocol. And there is no discretion of a CEO or a corporation or a government in the midst of it. But both of them, are heroic figures that said, you're in a no-win situation as long as you stay in a corrupt system. You need to depart the system. They had, one of them, gives a solution of Galt, Gulch, and strike, and the other one gives a solution of shift your money to cyberspace.
Saylor goes on to say that big banks are currently unable to issue stablecoins because they're unregistered securities, which puts a twist in the industry, but once licensed, will create a giant on-ramp in market capital. It would allow for tens of millions of transactions per day, which would provide massive potential for the crypto and stock markets.
And if you roll the clock forward all the way to 2009, you could say that the only thing you could own is your own memories or your own ideas. And it's the core of philosophy. Everything else you don't own, you rent from a more powerful government or authority around you. So up until January 3rd, 2009, you couldn't own anything other than what's in your head. The pharaohs couldn't own their property. You don't own your gold. You don't own land. If you think you own something in California and I'm the mayor, I can take it from you by eminent domain. I can tax it away from you. I can take your gold. I can shoot you, and I can take all your stocks and your bonds. Nothing on this earth that you think you own do you own except at the pleasure of someone more powerful than you. January 3rd, 2009 is the singularity where, for the first time in the history of the human race, you have property rights. And you have property rights because we come back to my first principle. The only thing you own are your memories. To the extent that your money is reflected in your memory, no one can take it from you. So Bitcoin was this invention whereby you could memorize a private key. You could put 1,000, a billion, a million, 10 billion, any amount of money in your head to the extent that the network has that wealth in it. And no one can take it from you or coerce it out of you via, at the barrel of a gun. I can shoot you and take all your stuff right now, all your property, if it isn't Bitcoin based on private keys. So the whole concept of property rights is, if I don't have property rights, I don't have right to my life force and my energy. I don't have the right to anything I've done in the past economically, nor do I have the right to do anything in the future. That is the basis of so many things that have gone on in the world. This idea that without property rights, you lose your past, you lose your future. Bitcoin is a technology to convey property rights via the technology of encryption and cryptography. And to the extent that you use it properly, you finally have perfected property rights. And not only can you resist any coercion, but you can, for the first time, take economic energy with you to the grave. The pharaohs couldn't, right? The most powerful person in Egypt could not take economic energy with them to the grave. They tried to bury it in a pyramid, but people just break into the pyramids. But you take all the money in the world, you sell all your stuff, sell your land in California, sell your gold, sell your silver, sell your Apple stock, sell your diamonds and gold and collectibles, and sell all your fiat currency and your pesos and your bolivars and your rubles, and buy Bitcoin, put it in your head, and now you actually own something economically. So we can now modify that phrase from "you only own your memories" to "the only thing you can own is your memories and your Bitcoin." And in 2009, you could own all the Bitcoin in the world as long as it was less than nothing, because the network was worth nothing. Today, you can own all the Bitcoin in the world as long as it's less than about $400 billion worth of stuff. But as the network grows, it becomes possible to shift more of the economic energy out of the system of coercion and corruption into a system of virtue, empowerment, and sovereignty. And that entire process started January 3rd, 2009, and it's been just like a boil and a progression since then. And what we are seeing is property rights come to life in the human civilization. Everything you thought was a property right, you have property rights in Cuba, North Korea, you have property rights until someone takes them away from you. And if you're lucky enough to be American, you kind of had half your property rights or a third of your property rights. And if you're someone living in a more hostile regime, you've known forever you didn't have any. Maybe in parts of Africa, they have 5% of their property rights. That's why Africa's still poor, because it's so impoverished. Bitcoin, not only does it give you perfected property rights in America or in China or in North Korea or in Cuba, it gives perfected property rights without prejudice to everybody on the globe, regardless of their economic circumstances. If you have a $50 Android phone, you have the same perfected property rights that Bill Gates has. And so it is the ultimate egalitarian, utilitarian entitlement of the right to property.
Saylor notes that we've been in a recession since 2020, and the economy has lost 40% of its purchasing power in the last 2 years. Even though the dollar is the most powerful medium exchange in the world, currencies are the weakest store of value. Because fiat currencies are collapsing, most people don't want to hold on to a local currency. Saylor advises to keep money in the dollar in the short term, but in the long term invest it in Bitcoin because it's the most reliable property on the market. What do you guys think about Michael Saylor's opinion on the importance of time horizons and where Bitcoin is headed this year? Let us know in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Library of Wealth. We'll see you in the next video.